We have this very fancy owl camera that hoots at us, and it will be doing so. I'm trying to get used to it because it's right there. People are coming and going. But yes, hello and welcome to the Gothic Practice Symposium. We're very happy that you could join us today. And I wanted to start things off by offering my thanks to the Arts and Humanities Research Support Program and the Wayne State Libraries and the Wayne State Humanities Center, all of which offered their support for this event. And without them, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So yay. I'd also like to recognize my fellow symposium organizers, some of whom you can probably see in the background furiously trying to get technology to work. Heath, uh, Jessica Risk, and Micah Spees. And we have our volunteers, Wes Heath, Richard Morgan, and Ashley Swan as well. Events like this are always a group effort, and I always want to remind people of the importance of community in anything like this, especially in academia. And I'm very proud of the community that we've gathered around us this week. Um, when I first started thinking about these opening remarks, I was at a loss. This symposium is about Gothic practice, but as I think we're all going to learn over the next 2 days, that isn't necessarily a concrete concept. Um, and uh, I wasn't sure what to write. I wasn't, sure what to talk about. It's something we're still working on. And there may not be a definitive uh, explanation for what Gothic practice. So I thought about what inspired me in proposing the symposium in the first place, and it really represents the intermingling of two parts of my academic life that have brought me profound joy over the last few years. Um, the first is the Internet Ghost Collective, who we'll be talking to in a few minutes. Um, it's a group of scholars I had the great good fortune to kind of fall in with. And they share an interest in horror and the Gothic as well as creative practice. So it was just like a dream come true to meet these fabulous women. Um, the collective has inspired my academic work, but just as importantly, they've inspired me to kind of stretch out and try new things, making zines, holding spirit box seances, integrating the creative into my academic research. And that's kind of at the heart of what we're doing these next 2 days. Plus, on top of that, they're just amazingly supportive friends. And we're going to talk about this a bit more at length in the roundtable that's coming up. But through the collective's integration of creative practice with critical work, we grabbed onto this idea of Gothic practice. And over the past 2 years, it's really grown. As many of you know, there is a special issue of the journal Gothic Studies that will be coming out very soon on this topic. And in fact, some of the contributors to that special issue will be presenting at the symposium. Um, so the symposium is, at least in part, partially about celebrating that special issue and the work that went into it. And I hope that we can get something out of that and continue kind of a celebration and a searching as we go. The museum also honors another thing that has given me joy recently. Last fall, I had the honor to teach a course called This Course is Haunted, the Gothic Horror and Haunting Across Media. And in many ways, this was a dream course. It focused on one of my research areas, which is horror and haunting. But also, I was able to situate the course firmly within the city of Detroit, which has been my home for 15 years now. So for their final projects, my students were researching supposedly haunted sites in Detroit, learning their histories, finding out about their supposed hauntings, and then taking what we'd learned in class and applying that to how these sites might produce Gothic tropes, how haunting manifests across media, how haunting manifests across Detroit to create creative critical responses to these hauntings. And my students amazed me. Their work was playful, it was fun, but it also asked some very serious questions about the histories popularized by ghost stories. And if nothing else, I feel like their work helped me learn much more about Detroit and about haunting more generally. So quite frankly, I wanted to honor their work. And that's why you'll be seeing some of it in the symposium this week over the next 2 days. Again, symposium is all about creating community, and I hope that this community will persist long after our Gothic practice pizza party. Hello, Alex and Jess. Um, we have presenters at all stages of their careers from both academia and beyond, but we're all coming together with a shared interest in the Gothic horror, haunting, and other spooky things, as well as practice-led or creative-based research. And I hope that this symposium will present us with several opportunities to learn and to share ideas, but also to make new friends and to share joy in our common interests. That's something we don't talk about enough in academia, is the joy that we can have in these things. So I'm hoping that all of you will approach the symposium as a community space where we can be both creative and critical, and where, if nothing else, we can have some fun. So we have an exciting 2 days planned for you. I am going to share my screen. Share, of course. Let's see if I can. Oh, the technology today has just been fun, let me tell you. There it is. Okay. What would it be if the technology just worked beautifully the very first try? I think we wouldn't know how to do it. Okay, there we go. So what's going on today? Right after this at 9:30, which is in about 3 minutes, we have a roundtable with the Internet Ghost Collective asking what is Gothic practice. Then we're following that with a presentation from two of the contributors to the special issue. Um, and that will be Hannah Singleton and Karen Smith, and we've titled that Gothic Bodies. This afternoon, we have a creative presentation session on creative hauntings from Wayne State students and alumni. And we're following that with a making session that includes tarot readings and Gothic practice activities. We're going to be using an obelisk, playing some exquisite corpse, and having fun with magnetic poetry.
Yes, question.
Yeah, sure.
What does exquisite corpse mean?
Exquisite corpse is kind of imagine I start a drawing and then I hand it to you and you do a little bit and then you hand it to someone else. Yes. Someone asked what exquisite corpse was. This evening, for those of you that are in person, we're going to have a spooky tour of the Walter Reuther Library and Archives, followed by a haunted walking tour of Midtown, led by one of our conference organizers, Jess Risk. Tomorrow, we're going to kick things off with a Gothic breakfast, which is really just going to be an excuse to talk and eat and watch the slideshow if you should so choose, have some bagels for those of us in person. Then we'll have another presentation from contributors to the special issue of Gothic Studies, Jonathan Muir and Andy Thatcher. That will be followed by a session on Detroit's Gothic consciousness with Wayne State graduate students, all of whom were in my class, so that should be cool. Then on Thursday afternoon, we'll have a session of academic work by Wayne State graduate students, followed by another making activity with me, creating Detroit's Lost Ghosts, although it could be really the lost ghosts of any town or region. I just happen to be in Detroit. And then we're going to close things out with a few closing remarks. And then for those of us in person, a Gothic practice pizza party, because who didn't want pizza and parlor games? So we're going to get things started in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, if you need anything, please look for, if you're here, the people with volunteer or organizer stickers. And if you're online, our moderators who will identify themselves in the chat. But if you need to, for a minute or two, step away, get some hydration, food, take a deep breath. We'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. So thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to this.